Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beans and Banter. I'm your host Caroline, and we have our guests again.
Hey everyone, it's Pratik.
Hi, my name is Anna.
And the most important one. Hi everyone, I'm Sam.
You can cut that part.
Yeah, I agree.
For this episode, well, we did dive into a little bit of it in our last episode, but for this one, we're going to talk about careers. Let's start with something more lighthearted. In a job interview, what has been the most unusual question you've received?
Oh, this one.
You can go first, Pratik.
So essentially, there were a bunch of different types of questions, but there's two main things I can remember. One was first there was other candidates as well, so they got us all into the room and they gave us a task, which was, you're stranded on an island. These are all the possible things that you got from your wreck. What are you going to have for the top 10 items that you're going to have for survival, right? And I remember we discussed it and everything, and I said this thing for rank 4, and then other people were like, no, it's, we should go with this. 3 people were like that, and 1 person agreed with me. But I was kind of hung up on that. But, and afterwards when we got our feedback, what was interesting was the senior person from the Air Force was like, you were right, but sometimes it's better to go with the consensus than try to sort out than to be right. Which was which was really interesting. So that's something that stuck with me. I think there's further examples as well, but that interview I remember vividly because those weren't your typical corporate interviews. And I learned a lot from all those different types of interviews.
It's very funny you say that because my example is not from an interview I've been put through, but it was someone I know who has been through, and they will ask that question in a corporate interview.
Oh.
Yeah, and I find that really interesting because I'm thinking why would they ask that in a corporate interview? How's that related? What kind of
I think they just wanted to see your thinking process, right?
Yeah, and maybe confidence or something like that.
Or to throw you off.
Thinking process. Throw
see
you off.
how fast you can react and give.
No, there was this other. So essentially, they told us specifically that we had 60 seconds to tell them our solution, right?
Yeah.
We choose one person. You have 60 seconds to tell them. We chose this guy who was really confident. He even nominated himself. And this man forgot that he had 60 seconds. He told 2 items on the list, gave a long spiel. And then the army psychologist drilled into us because they really want to test you, right? So the guy was like, whose fault is it that you guys couldn't actually compete? Because they were trying to make us, point each other out. They want to really test your personalities.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's all of us because we could have reminded him and all of that.
Yeah.
So he's like, we should fail all of you guys then. And then we're like, we couldn't say anything. So, but at the end, they pointed out in the feedback that I got, because you get it individually.
Yeah.
He was like, that was really good because he didn't single out that person.
Yeah.
And you help the group be cohesive, etc. So they do that on purpose, right?
Yeah.
They so each one of those things has they're judging you in your thinking, speaking, but then also other things how you work as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know about in corporate, what,
Yeah.
why they even ask.
That's why I was very surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Because in all the interviews I've been through, they're all typical questions that you expect.
Let's say you're going to Hawaii. What would you pack? Just let me know. Yeah. Brainstorm your packing trip. Yep. Beach towel.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
When Pratik was talking about his interview with the Air Force, it was very reminiscent of. It was just reminding me of the time when I was in service. It was very similar situations, very high pressure and things like that. But we won't go into that. I think with that question, what I actually had originally was my favorite one, and the one that stood out to me today is actually one of the graduate interviews that I had with one one of the tech companies that I actually started my career with, the hiring manager asked the question, what would be your legacy? This is like a one-on-one interview at this particular point. I thought it was really good because that question made me wonder, like, oh, it isn't like your typical corporate interview, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to look for what skills do you bring to the table, or like how do you work with people. It's more of like, what are you like as a person? What would you like to leave behind as your legacy? I really like the question. It's still in my head after all these years, because I think that it's probably the only interview so far that I've had that like the question really wanted to know more about me as a person or as an individual rather than as a cog in a machine. Yeah.
Interesting.
What about
Mine wasn't so deep.
you?
And I know my boss is watching right now because I did tell him about my podcast. And I know he's going to laugh when I mention this, but during my interview with him, he asked me, what's your favorite color?
Oh.
And I don't know whether there's some psychology behind it, like, oh, like if you name a color, or it represents this person's personality or whatever. But I was just like, I was just like yellow, and he was like, oh, good. And then later on, he said it was more of a confidence thing because some people overthink it. And he was just like, oh no, like some people just make up fluffy answers, but I just wanted like a simple answer because some people they choose beige.
Beige?
Did you?
Beige
some people are like,
flags.
Judging
like
hard.
a baby blue, like the sky blue, or like something very specific, like and then they, go on a spiel about it. But I think he just wanted a very simple answer.
Oh, interesting. Have you got one where it was like, if you could be an animal, what would you be?
No, I never got
Lord.
that one.
That one's actually like, I think that they are trying to figure out like, because I think every animal represents something.
Yeah.
I think they're like trying to look for a deeper meaning. I think Carla's one is really good. It's just confidence.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah.
What animal would you be?
For an animal.
For animal?
Yeah, I'm
animal?
curious now. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know
Okay.
color, but not animal.
So I can answer animal
I'd be a human.
because I thought about this for a while. I thought like, oh, I'll choose eagle, right? Because eagle has like all these traits that's very good in terms of like leadership and like power and things like.
It's bold.
Yeah, and it's bald. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not all eagles
Lift
are
that
bald.
hat. Let's see.
No, I want to. I'm not bald, guys.
Ah, goddamn.
No, but I actually answered with like wolf.
Oh.
Wolf, and I chose wolf because I remember like, a wolf pack is so interesting because in my mind when I answered wolf, it was if you are a wolf and you're the alpha wolf, you would always lead. I think alpha wolves. I think you lead from the back because what you want to do is that all the wolves would be at the front because or like in middle of the pack really because the alpha wolves will protect the back just to make sure that there's no prey coming up or predators coming after them, and then the younger wolves will lead from the front, and then the other ones would be in the middle. And I like the idea of like being able to. I like the idea of a wolf being able to take care of its pack and always working together, like a family or like a team. That always stood out to me, and that's why I answered wolf. I think that myth, like the alpha wolf, is like a myth thing now. It's not true, but back then, I thought it was a very nice answer, so I said wolf. Eagle, I felt like it was a little bit more individualistic. Whereas, wolf.
Yeah, that's how I like to lead too. Yeah, you guys go do the work. I'll be right here in the back, looking out for danger.
It's true, yeah.
What animal would you guys be?
I have no idea. Do you have an idea? What about you, Carol?
I've been told I'm a red panda.
Oh,
I don't know why though.
Is it from the movie?
like the movie?
the movie?
Which movie?
There's a red
the
panda.
Disney, the Pixar one.
The Pixar one, yeah.
Yeah. The girl gets if she feels emotional, then she turns into a panda because of a curse in the family.
What?
You gotta watch it. It's
It's
so
so
Watched
cute.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a really good movie.
yeah. Be a dog. Just relax. Be happy. Get fed. Get taken care of. Get cuddles.
easy life.
Yeah.
Cushy life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Lead
of
from the-
ants.
Ants.
Ants work.
All the
hard.
animals in the
She probably
world.
wants to be the queen too. She probably wants to be the queen. It's not worker ants or anything. No. That's not even. Tell me which ant. No, tell me which ant.
All she can think about is like Queen Ant.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the queen. Yeah, see?
Not even Queen Bee. It's just like Queen,
Queen
Ant.
Ant.
Yeah, why?
We mess up those bees. Let them land. We'll take them up.
Yeah, I don't know.
So much segue, guys. What's the question?
Interesting question.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting
Yeah,
interview.
How do we get here?
You. That's how we got here.
But I have to admit that is a very unusual but interesting question. I wouldn't even know how to answer, like the legacy one.
That question decided whether you would proceed to the next one or whether you're eliminated on the actual interview day as well.
Really?
How did you answer?
I remember answering my
With
legacy.
$100.
Yeah. Just like, here you go.
Here's my legacy. Keep it safe.
I remember telling her that if I could, I would like my legacy to be thought of as someone who was willing to help people all the time, and someone that was willing to nurture like the next generation. Because
Ooh,
that's something
yeah.
that I've always been pretty passionate about. Yeah. I answered something to the tune of that. I can't really remember much, but it was a very intense situation.
4th degree teacher.
Yeah.
He's being inspired by the other thing.
Yeah. That's right. 4th degree teacher. Yeah. Yeah. I answered to the tune of that, just wanting to make sure that if I was to something to happen to me, I would like it to be remembered as someone that was willing to help people and nurture the next generation and make sure that they are supported and were very successful in whatever they choose to do.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Did you make it through?
Yeah, I did.
Damn.
Ooh.
Must have said something pretty decent. I hope.
The guy was sorry, what'd you say? Oh, yeah.
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 What would you say are some rewarding parts about your current job?
My role is what's known as like a pre-sales engineer or solutions engineer. So my focus is all about trying to solve problems using the tools that my organization create or like solutions or platforms that my solutions create. And so what I really love about it is you have the opportunity to like work with a lot of different businesses in the industry, and you can showcase to them the great solutions that you can create using those tools, right? How do I cut time down from let's say if you're a developer, like how do I help you automate deploying infrastructure to whatever platforms you want using just a simple tool, like so instead of doing it a very manual way or whatever way, now you can do it in like rather than taking a couple of hours to do it, you just do it in like 10 seconds. So and I love being able to identify like where are the problems in your organization that our solution would fit in and how we can help you with that. I think it's really nice because you can actually see them thinking about ways that they can implement the solution within the organization and the amount of, I guess, just like help that their people, their employees or their team members can get just by implementing this solution for them. So my role has been basically something like that, but with different tools based on which organizations that I've been a part of. Yeah. So it's been fun.
Okay.
I work in the education industry, and it's completely different from my science background. And I have no regrets because it's something I can do forever, and each day I can feel very fulfilled and happy because for me, teaching just brings me so much joy. And I think being able to help children or students be able to become their confident selves by having like a strong foundation or even like getting them to enjoy learning. It's just such a fun way to spend my days. So, yeah.
That's
Well, my job is data science. So just it's more about problem solving and seeing patterns. So, and I really like scalability because we code. So like whatever solution you implement, it gets, because of code, gets scaled, 100x, 1000x. Because in my job, like working for, let's say, a retailer or whatever company, if you make a recommendation engine or anything of the sort, then you're trying to analyze people's shopping behaviors, or you're trying to solve a problem. I think one of them was trying to remind customers of items they might have forgotten. And it was really rewarding because that's a tough problem. What kind of variables do you make, or features can you look at to see if someone's actually forgotten an item? Or how do you boil that problem down into like fundamentals? And then after you come out of that, actually seeing the result of that straight away, because let's say it gets put on the website or in production, you can see millions of people interacting with that and how many actually add stuff from that recommendation list. So that feels really rewarding, instant feedback as to how your solution went, and tracking, okay, this is how much more we sold because of it, etc. So so solutions like that. So using machine learning or data science or like numbers or insights, it's really cool to try to piece together a story and try to use it or present it to answer questions that a business might have.
And what about you?
You guys had such in-depth answers.
So all those interviews we went through.
The most rewarding part for me is to actually find a good mentor, especially in this stage of my career.
Especially if they give you a pay rise.
Wink.
20% or more.
Promotion would be
Be nice too. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's what a good mentor does, really.
No, but I think I agree with you. I think at every organizations I've been with, I think like a mentor changes everything.
It does.
Yeah.
Not to say that like the people in my previous jobs weren't a good mentor, but I think I needed the extra push. And one of the reasons why I left that job was because I felt that I wasn't actually learning or improving anything. It was just the same thing repeated over and over. And whilst I did get rewarded for that, like personally, it just felt like, I'm not getting anywhere. So like with my current job, like my boss just always pushes me. And it's the healthy kind of push, not like just drop you in the deep end. Like he'll guide me and then he'll be like, okay, you do your thing. And then you can come talk to me if you need help, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I like that. I think that every part of my career, I always want to find like somewhere where I have this like psychological safety, right? Like I want to be able to fail, but I don't want it to fail to a point where I can't recover from it.
Yeah.
But every mentor that I've met, they've always created this psychological safe space so that I can ask stupid questions. I can ask questions that, if you're experienced, you wouldn't need to ask it. But if you're new, you ask it, and then it just makes sense for you. But it's very hard to find people who are very patient with you to walk you through that. I've been very fortunate. Like, at every organization I've been to so far, there was someone who was always willing to take that extra step for me. I can actually remember their name off their head for like every company that I've been with. And I think there's two people that I rely on like to this day. I've just moved to a new organization, but I still talk to like my colleagues from my previous one and like the one before and the one before. And it's been good because I think that mentors aren't just someone who guides your careers.
Yeah.
They're also someone who's in your life, right?
That's
they
true.
are someone that you can talk to or turn to when you need help with anything, or when they need help. And something that I've seen as well is that you might be the mentee now, but 10 years down the track, I've seen mentees become the person, not mentors to an extent, but they also help their mentors join them in whichever companies they are part of now.
Yeah.
So the roles are reversed, but the relationship still persists. I think it's so beautiful. And when that happens, because now you have the opportunity to pay back.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I think it's hard to find the right mentor for you.
I was about to say that. Like, it's good to say that, like, doesn't necessarily mean that you'll always be put with the right mentor. And like sometimes more often than not, like you won't be put with the person that is the right mentor for you. So I think looking out for one is good.
Yeah.
So like trying to find someone that you like the way they think or like the way they interact with you and asking for advice. Because even your colleagues can be your mentors to a certain extent as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think not everyone is necessarily blessed with great mentors, but so looking around and trying to like ask like questions or for advice goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's a time to be curious.
Yeah.
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 So hard to find, but like when you have one, it's amazing.
Yes,
Yes.
it's really good.
Yeah. I'm very grateful. I'm very fortunate.
For that 20% bump coming in. 25, 30?
Yum yum.